End of Times, Islamic History, Reminders, Current Affairs. Subscribe and join us for the latest updates.
Occupation. It's about land grabbing within Palestine. It's about expansion and creating what they refer to as a greater Israel, which the current Arab rulers do not realize. That in the long term, the Israelis, like Benjamin Netanyahu, our MIT graduate, would want to expand to the point that they take northern Arabia, they take Jordan, the Jordan Valley, they take parts of Syria, perhaps even Damascus. This is their long-term intended goal. They will never achieve this because the current resistance and fighting of the occupation will defeat them eventually. Insha'Allah ta'ala, there will be victory. But in the long term, Israeli expansionism, and remember, Israel controls America. It's not the United States currently does not control Israel. Israel controls the United States, and the past 1 year has demonstrated that very clearly. So Iran has its objective in protecting its interests, but the nations surrounding Iran, like Pakistan and the oil states, the Gulf states, as well as Turkey, all of these could potentially turn coat on Iran. And they are all allies. Remember, Turkey was an ally of Israel, or recognized Israel from its inception. Of course, it's a secular Turkey. It's the Turkey of Ataturk. It's not the Turkey of a Sultan Abdul Hamid, rahimahullah. Similarly, the Arab nations and their posturing and aligning themselves with the current occupation. It's very difficult to predict the future, and a person should never attempt to actually predict the future. But there is conflagration, there is escalation occurring as we speak. If I were to base my prescient opinions or foresight upon the personality of Bibi, who is Bibi? Bibi's general is Benjamin Netanyahu. Then I would say this will escalate. You have to remember, Bibi is an Armageddon believing Messianic cultist. He had a rabbi this rabbi was from New York City. And when Bibi would go visit him in the 1980s and the 1990s, this rabbi had foretold that Bibi would lead the way for the Messiah to appear. So Bibi is a messianic cultist. You have a maniac, a messianic cultist ruling the Knesset and ruling what is known as Israeli politics. That is the reality. That is the type of thing that the Times of Israel and the Jewish Chronicles would never mention. That these are messianic maniacs. They may refer to Iran as such, because Iran has the belief in Al-Mahdi, which is also a Sunni belief. They may refer to Sunnis as being messianic, like Hamas and others. But in reality, Benjamin Netanyahu is a messianic maniac. And if we are to look at this psychopath, the steps he has taken, if we were basing our future predictions on the behavior of Benjamin Netanyahu, we would say that there is a conflagration, there is an escalation happening. That means a ground invasion. And what do we have to say regarding the Lebanese capabilities? Hezbollah in 2006 killed over 150 Israeli soldiers, which was deemed, at that time it was deemed as a huge number. Of course, we know now that thousands of Israeli soldiers have been maimed or killed in the occupation of Gaza in the past 1 year. How long can Israel, the entity, sustain this war? And of course, the Federal Reserve and the Bank of America, whatever, funds Israel $7 billion package more recently, How long can the Federal Reserve actually sustain an economic war? How long can Israel sustain this war, which is damaging its international reputation? Personally, I do not think the Knesset or Benjamin Netanyahu care for what the world thinks. But how long can they sustain this? And how long can they sustain military warfare, loss of soldiers and loss of the health of their military personnel within Lebanon, which are increasing war fronts? And another question that needs to be asked is, will they target Bashar al-Assad? That now that they have successfully killed Hassan Nasrallah and the top leadership of Hezbollah, they killed Ismail Haniya, they have attempted to kill Yahya Sinwar, which they have been unable to do so. But will they be targeting Bashar al-Assad? And how is the security of Bashar al-Assad? After they target Bashar al-Assad, unpredictable. Benjamin Netanyahu is unpredictable. Will he even target the Khamenei in Iran? Will he target the leadership of Iran, the political leadership and the religious, spiritual leadership of Iran? These things will give conflagration to various militias within Iraq, within Iran, militias within Syria. It will lead to an escalation within the region.